A book you meant to read last year. Like everything. Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My name is Reagan. Today we're going to be doing my January TBR January, what the fuck? We're in March now. My March TBR using my trusty little TBR jar. In the new year, I redid all my prompts, so we have some good prompts to pick from still, I believe. I think we're gonna do 5 books again this month. I think that's a pretty good number for me. Out of the 5 books on my TBR last month, I got through 3 of them. Notoriously bad at sticking to my TBRs. 5 is a good number where I can like get a good percentage of my TBR done, but maybe not like exclusively reading books off my TBR for the month. So grab your drink, get settled, and we're gonna do our little TBR video. Today I have Grande Iced Matcha Latte with strawberry cold foam and 1 pump of vanilla syrup, and might I say it's delicious. It's my spring drink for right now and I love it. I know you can't see, but here right beside me is my bookshelf. One part of my bookshelf that has my physical TBR, and then the other part is over by my nightstand. Since I can't get all of my TBR spots in one shot, I'm just going to be standing here and I will pick up the books as we go for the TBR prompts. Without further ado, let's pick our first little prompt, shall we? Can I put this on here? Maybe this will get some like ASMR content. How dumb does it look? Pick number 1. Prompt number 1 is read the last book you bought. One would think straightforward, but for me, it's actually a little bit tricky. I have a last book that I bought, and then I have a last book that arrived. Like, I bought and pre-ordered a book a while ago, so I didn't buy it recently, but it's the one that I got and it arrived most recently, but then the book that I bought most recently is different from that. City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards is the most recent book that I bought. The Charlie Method by Elle Kennedy is the most recent book I received in the mail. It was a pre-order from a while ago. This is the most recent book in the Campus Diaries series by Elle Kennedy. It's like the spin-off from the Dare, not the Dare. It's the spin-off from, I have to turn on the fan because it's so hot in here. The Off Campus series, that's what I'm looking for. It's a spinoff from the Off Campus series. It's the 3rd book in the series and I've only read book 1. So I can't really read this right now because I haven't read book 2 yet, and this is book 3. So that leaves us with this as our first TBR pick, which is kind of crazy. It's like a mammoth. It's huge, as you can see. I've heard kind of like Crescent City. All of the book girlies have been talking about it recently. So I literally watched one video and I heard, I think, was it Mariana talk about it? Or maybe it was Emmy? I don't know. But I heard somebody talk about it and I was like, I need that book. And I knew it was huge, but then I got it in the mail and I was like, wow, I just didn't estimate how huge this was, but I really, really want to read it at the same time. I think that like has to be the first choice, the first pick. So City of Gods and Monsters is on the TBR. Time for number 2. One just fell out, so we're going with that one. A book you meant to read last year. Like everything, like every single book on my physical TBR. I'm picking out a few options. I mean, it literally could be any single book I own physically, but I'm really trying to stick to ones that like stand out to me because I could use this as like a cheat and pick literally anything I want. I don't want to cheat. That's like not the name of the game. I have picked out 3 little options. Option number 1 is kind of like a no-brainer. Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas, because one of my reading goals last year was literally to finish rereading this series and I failed. I only got up to Air Fire. Queen of Shadows was next and I didn't end up reading it, so I could put this on the TBR. I could. Do I want to? I don't know. I already have one really, really chunky fantasy book, but I also really want to be in the mood when I read it, so like I get the best experience possible. I also have Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. This one just stands out to me as one that I've put on like so many TBRs and then never actually read it. It's a really, really pretty cover though, and I kind of feel like, I don't know, it gives fall vibes, but at the same time it gives summer vibes. So is that my sign to not read it right now? And then lastly, I have Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. If I don't read this in 2025, I am unhauling it. I'm getting rid of it. It's gone because I meant to read this for literally so long. I bought it like after I watched one of Destiny Sidwell's videos, like recommended it. It was like her one of her 5-star reads, and she recommended it in one video, and I immediately went and bought it. And then I haven't touched it since. It's like kind of time, but it's like kind of time for all 3 of them because that's kind of the point. Out of these 3, I'm kind of leaning towards Say You Swear because we have a big fat fantasy, and I think I'm going to be reading a lot of like literary stuff in March, so I want like a no thoughts, just vibes. So I think we're gonna put Say You Swear as book number 2. Time for pick number 3. A book you haven't seen on social media. This could potentially go a lot of different ways. Let me find some options and then get back to you. This is like exponentially harder than I thought it was gonna be. I looked through all of the books I have and I could only come up with 3. And the way I really don't want to read any of them. But that is kind of telling though, because if I don't see them on social media, then like I don't want to read them. The first option is The Frozen River by Ariel Lawhon. My grandma gave this to me. The only reason why I'm not interested in reading it right now is because of the setting. It looks very cold and very frigid, and I'm kind of transitioning into yay warm spring. So reading a book that looks like this and is in this setting might not exactly be what my mood is telling me to read right now. It looks like historical fiction, historical mystery inspired by the life and diary of Martha Ballard, a renowned 18th century midwife who defied the legal system and wrote herself into American history. So it sounds good, but like the setting. Then I also have That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. I read the second book in the series and I obviously picked up the first one as well. Spice Trader Cinnamon's quiet life is turned upside down when she ends up on a quest with a fiery demon in this irreverently quirky rom-com fantasy that is sweet, steamy, and funny as hell. It's also been blurbed by Katie Robert, which I do really like a lot of Katie Robert's books, and it's pretty short, which is an upside. The last one I figured was Hex by Emily McIntyre. I have seen things about like the beginning of the series and the first books in the series on social media, and I've read all of those. This is the newest release, and I really haven't seen anything put out about it on social media quite yet. Is it inspired by The Little Mermaid? I believe it's like a Little Mermaid fractured fairy tale. Oh, it's about Prince Eric and then Vanessa. He's the prince of La Cosa Nostra. La Cosa Nostra? Fake fantasy name, I think. And then she's the witch who steals his heart. This one kind of sounds fun, but we already have like 2 kind of thick books on the TBR. I think I know for sure I am abandoning The Frozen River by Ariel Lawhon. Now I just need to decide between these 2. This would be finishing a series, and then this would be continuing a series, so both are kind of like productive. Okay, this reasoning is kind of like backwards. I think I'm gonna put That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon on the TBR, because if I don't put it on a TBR, I don't think I'm gonna reach for it on my own time. So I think this would be more productive. Whereas with Hexed, I would reach for this like just on a whim, and I probably will like be itching to get to it at some point. I'm basically just like trying to force myself to read this so that I like get it off my TBR. And then when I did the last one, this one landed like this, so I think I have to pick up that one because like that's fate and you can't mess with fate. It's like bad juju. It says a book with a musical theme or element. All right, let me go searching. I found 2 options. Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto quite clearly has a musical element as it has the cello on the front. 2 rival musicians fight their attraction as they compete for center stage. There's a violinist and then a cellist. Quite obvious there's a musical element here. I really like this cover also. Hex by Emily McIntyre. As we know, the witch in Ariel has like her sorcery is through her voice. The same is to be true of this fractured fairy tale. Vanessa's everything he never knew he wanted, bewitching him with her sultry voice and supple curves. But Enzo learned long ago that for a man like him, life is better without the things you want. When plans unravel and temptation sings its siren song, they both have to choose what's more important, duty to their families or forbidden love that was never supposed to be. I always do these and then get like so stressed out about what I'm choosing. And then I'm like, wait, it's really never that serious. It's really never that serious, and I can always like not read it if I don't want. I kind of am thinking Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. Why? I couldn't really tell you. I think just the cover. Like the cover is really getting to me. Like it's just beautiful. Like everything about it. The font, I love the font. The font is everything. Font is so, I have a feud with fonts. I can't ever pick a font and it pisses me off to no end. Book number 4, Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. We have 1 more to go. Last prompt, a very hyped up book. Hyped like everybody has been talking about it, or like hyped like everybody is currently talking about it, because those are 2 different things. I have 4 of like what I would say are the most hyped books that I own at the moment. Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan. I just feel like Annabelle Monaghan is like a really, really hyped author recently. I purchased this book of hers secondhand. I don't think I'm gonna go with this one because it's very beachy, and I think this would be a great book to read on the beach. And I'm not on the beach right now, and I will be on the beach in about a week because of spring break. So this might be a spring break pick. But then, is it perfect for this TBR because I'm going to be reading it in March? That could be possible. Then I have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is obviously very hyped. I've seen a lot of stuff about Kristen Hanna recently, and like Kristen Hanna is a very well known, like she's been around for a while. She like knows her stuff, I feel. I've never read a Kristen Hanna book. I own a few, but I don't know if I'm gonna get to this one just because I feel like I want to read it in May. Like sometimes I look at books and I'm like, this belongs in a certain month, so I'm putting it back. God of the Woods by Liz Moore. This one I feel like belongs in March. I really want to read this one, but it's like a literary fiction thriller kind of situation. And then lastly, I have The Zodiac Academy, the first book. And this one is obviously very hyped because it's Zodiac Academy. If you haven't heard about Zodiac Academy, you're living under a rock. But I think I'm going to put that one back just because I don't want to start a new series right now. And I think I'm going to cheat and I'm going to put both of these on my physical TBR because this one I really want to read and this one is going to be like my spring break book, I think, or one of my spring break books. So these two are going on the TBR. Final run through for a very hyped book, we have The God of the Woods by Liz Moore and Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan. For a book with a musical element, we have Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. For the most recent book I bought, City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards. A book you haven't seen on social media, That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. And then a book I meant to read last year, Say You Swear by Megan Brandy.